Hello, and thank you for watching this October 26th weather update, brought to you by Agrible, the makers of Morning Farm Report. My name is Eric Snodgrass, and I am a senior atmospheric scientist and co-founder of Agrible. The weather events of last week were unprecedented. The 2015 El Niño paved the way for one of the busiest hurricane seasons in history in the eastern Pacific Ocean, as warm sea surface temperatures built north of the equatorial Pacific. These same warm waters will have a large impact on the winter in the United States, but their immediate effect was felt last Thursday when Tropical Storm Patricia began its record-setting rapid intensification. In 24 hours, Patricia's central pressure dropped 100 millibars and broke several records. Patricia is now the most powerful tropical cyclone in the Western Hemisphere on record. This satellite animation shows Patricia at her strongest. The NOAA hurricane hunters flew into Patricia and measured a central pressure of 879 millibars, a new record for sea level pressure in the Western Hemisphere, which broke Hurricane Wilma's record of 882 millibars set in 2005. Incidentally, last week was the 10-year anniversary of Wilma, which was the last time a major hurricane made landfall in the United States. This incredibly low air pressure produced winds of 200 miles per hour that bested the record set by Hurricane Allen in 1980 of 190 miles an hour and Hurricane Camille in 1969, which were also reported to be near 190 miles per hour. Gusts were measured at 245 miles per hour. Thankfully, Patricia made landfall in an area of Mexico that has low population density. This video, though, shows just how powerful the winds were in this hurricane. Just as quickly as Patricia intensified, the mountains of Mexico sheared her apart and weakened the system to tropical depression status. While the reports of damage are still coming in, it appears that there has been a minimal loss of life. Shown here is the forecast track of Patricia from late last week. The remnants of this hurricane traversed Mexico and merged with another weather system to form a strong low-pressure system in the Gulf of Mexico. Winds there were reported to exceed 60 miles per hour, but the real story was in the rain. 3 separate weather systems, including Patricia, have produced an enormous amount of rain in Texas. Over the weekend, the forecast track of the remnants of Patricia combined with the recent rains and put a significant portion of Texas under flood threat. The National Weather Service called for nearly a foot of rain in some locations. This is having an impact on both cotton and soybean harvests in the south, as well as winter wheat planting. In the last week, most of Texas received at a minimum 2 inches of rain. South of Dallas to Houston, 6 to 20 inches of rain fell as thunderstorms repeatedly tracked over the same locations. Shown here is the percent of average precipitation for the last week. Nearly all of Texas received 300% or more of normal precipitation. The best news is that as this rain spreads east, it will likely put a big dent in the drought that has formed over the last 60 days in south-central Texas. Unfortunately, the rain is coming a little too quickly and the flooding has been terrible. Looking a little farther north, last week's rainfall brought a half-inch or better to western Kansas, Nebraska, and the Dakotas over to Minnesota, Wisconsin, and parts of Iowa. Unfortunately, the drought that has formed in Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana missed out on this rain. The problem is that field fires have been breaking out, as some locations, like parts of central Illinois, have not seen rain in over 30 days. Thankfully, harvest progress has been swift, and these fires are burning stover rather than crop. Is there any relief forecast to help end this drought in the heart of the Corn Belt? Well, this animation shows precipitation through the first half of the week. The rains in Louisiana on Sunday are forecast to move northeast through the start of the week as a powerful low-pressure system forms north of the Great Lakes. It turns out that the remnants of Patricia are not done just yet. This has still been a very dry October, though, and despite allowing for a fast harvest in the Corn Belt, some moisture is needed to help crop residue start to break down before the winter. And if any fall anhydrous ammonia applications are planned, some soil moisture is needed to allow the knife tracks to seal after application. In total, NOAA is forecasting quite a bit of rain for the eastern third of the United States this week. Shown here is the next 5 days of accumulated precipitation. Temperatures across the Corn Belt to start the week will be closer to normal despite the rains. However, once the remnants of Patricia redevelop into a large extratropical cyclone north of the Great Lakes, a cold front will sweep through the Midwest, cooling things down Wednesday through the end of the week. This map shows the cold front's position on Thursday morning. However, after this front passes, the warmer than normal conditions return. These two maps show the 6 to 10 day forecast for temperature and precipitation. Most of October has been warmer than average for the whole country, and forecasts suggest the month will finish warm. To finish, let's briefly turn our attention to Brazil. Rains have returned to central Brazil, and despite the dryness to start their spring, the next 2 weeks, shown here, are forecast to have rain moving across most growing regions in the country. Overall planting is close to normal pace given the fast planting in Paraná and Mato Grosso do Sul. The delays in Mato Grosso, however, due to early season dryness, will force additional soybean rust applications, as the crop will not be mature as fast and will need to be treated farther into February. Also, the delays in the Safrinha winter corn crop planting will remain something to watch next March. Well, as always, we at Agrible will bring you the latest and best weather forecast information through our morning farm report so that you can efficiently plan your operations. We thank you for your attention and hope you look forward to our next weather video update. Thank you.